I did in fact finish chapter 18. And then we're gonna finish draft 3. I forgot to mention, I actually have a live stream today, my first ever hosted one that I'm doing. I did in fact finish chapter 20, which means draft 3 is officially done. Yeah. But the overall statistics for draft 3 are: finish the 3rd draft of my book with me. Hi, hello, welcome. My name's Araya Rasmussen, and I'm currently revising my hunting memoir, temporarily titled The Adventures of an Outfitter's Daughter, which encases my journey to try to get my dream black bear alongside my dad, a big game outfitter based out of Idaho, and the highs and lows we face along the way. It's a journey basically of self-discovery, identity, personal struggles, all wrapped up in about 20 action-packed hunts. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to stick around for when that's eventually published, please feel free to do so. And if not, and you just want to watch my writing journey and my book related content, that's okay too. But yes, I am working to finish the 3rd draft of my hunting memoir this weekend on chapter 18. I'm about halfway through the 2nd pass of the chapter. I do about 3 passes, sometimes 4, and there was a chapter I did like 5. But I'm just cleaning up more developmental stuff, pro stuff, and line edit stuff as I go through each pass. It's not perfect, obviously, because this is the 3rd draft. There's still stuff going on, and I'm actually gonna do a draft like 3.5 again. I did a draft 2.5 when I finished draft 2. I'm just kind of considering draft 3 like a full revision straight through the book of each chapter that I'm doing, and then draft 3.5 going through and fixing the little stuff that I remembered past a certain point that I need to go back and fix, but I didn't do it yet because I did not want to get stuck in a loop of doing that sort of thing and not making any forward progress or momentum. So I have been noting certain things that have come to me that like, oh, I need to go and add this detail to this chapter. Oh, I don't think I introduced this dog, so I need to go back and introduce this dog because I come from a family who hound hunts, and that's another thing people do not like as well with hunting in general, but I try not to talk about those sort of details too much. But anyways, I am trying to push through to the end this weekend. I have 20 chapters. I'm on chapter 18, so the goal is to hopefully get at least chapter 18 and 19 a part of the way through chapter 20 today. Today is Saturday, August 23rd, I believe, or the 24th. I think it's the 23rd, and then wrap up chapter 20 tomorrow if need be. I don't have anything going on tomorrow or really today, but I have tried to get to a point where I'm not pushing myself too hard, that I don't want to come back to the book because I burned myself out too much. So I could probably finish it today if I really pushed hard enough, but I really should not push myself too hard. I think chapter 19 hopefully is going to be a pretty easy breeze through of a chapter, but I could also be totally wrong. I think the biggest thing is going to be chapter 20, just making sure that I wrap up every detail about this book. I do feel pretty strongly about the conclusion. We'll see though when I actually read through it and revise it with this draft. Yes, that is the goal this weekend, is to finish draft 3. Got a coffee from our local coffee shop hidden behind my water bottle. Literally, you can't see it. That's cool. Anyways, yes, I got some caffeine. I have a full water bottle. I'm going to put on my tunes, do some sprints on the Forest app. I'll probably do like 20-minute sprints to start off with, and then lengthen it out as I go on, because I usually do longer sprints. Like, I used to never actually do sprints. I just would sit at my desk and work all day basically until like I felt like I was done. Like how you read, like you have to keep reading to a finish to a certain chapter. Like I have to get to this chapter, and for me, I want to finish a chapter before I step away. So I've just always been to a point where I want to finish something all the way before I move on to something else. That is something I do. But yes, is there anything else? I did my nails. We'll see how well that goes with this weekend. They're just press-ons, and I was like, I've really been wanting to do them, but I just have a hard time typing with them on, so we'll see if that's kind to hinder my process a little bit. We'll probably be doing some crochet throughout the day and the weekend just to break up my writing and to stop myself from scrolling on TikTok, because that's what I would usually do when I would not do sprints, is I would rotate between writing and being on my phone, but then I'd be on TikTok for an hour sometimes. So I've been trying to do the other stuff like crocheting or reading, but the thing is, for me, if I read, I want to sit and read that book. I don't want to write, but I do have book comps I can read, and I haven't touched them in a while, so I think I'm going to pull one down today and maybe look at it throughout the day if I need to, and do some crochet as well. I have a blanket project I'm working on. Well, 2 blanket projects I have started and not finished, but I have a blanket I want to work on, and some flowers for my mirror in my office that I need to work on, but you guys don't really care about that. This is not a crochet channel. That's just some stuff I'm trying to do to break up the writing and not be glued to my phone in that break. Going to put on my playlist, which is just Divorced Dad Rock Bangers. And for all of you that are consistently watching my channel, I feel bad being so repetitive sometimes, but yes, I'm gonna put my playlist on and we're gonna get to editing chapter 18. It's feeling good so far, but it might need an extra pass, honestly, especially since I've been working on it throughout the week. I feel like the editing is more choppy when I do that, and so I'll probably have to double read it just to make sure everything sounds consistent and flows right. I'm gonna get to it and stop talking because this is too long of chatting to start this vlog that it's probably gonna be long as it is, because I'm gonna finish the third draft of my novel this weekend. Let's do it. This is my current anthem. Suffocation, no breathing. If you know, you know. Suffocation, no breathing.
I'll be the boy playing the boombox by your window pane. I'll be the girl wearing your shirt out in the pouring rain. This ain't a rom-com, this is real life, let me show you a ring. Don't need to play no game. So why don't you say I quit being overthinking about everything. Give it up, tell you what I wanna say right now. Cause I could do the John Hughes kinda or cliche, but either way I need to say anything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need to say anything. When you call up, I get dolled up like I'm being alright. I get nervous on the surface, ain't a James Dean type. We're just cooped up in a cruiser on a Friday night. We could let it ride. Why don't you say I quit being overthinking about everything. Give it up, tell you what I wanna say right now. Cause I could do the John Hughes kinda or cliche, but either way I need to say anything.
Okay guys, as you have probably seen from the last clip, I did in fact finish chapter 18. And I was already starting to look at the beginning of chapter 19 and like looking at my revision checklist, and I was like, no, chill. I gotta mark things off and take a little bit of a breather before I jump into it. The thing is, I need to rework the intro of chapter 19. It's what I've been doing kind of with all the chapters, like I've mentioned in my previous videos, but specifically, I don't know if I've been talking about, I've been trying to thread through more of the memoir details, but also it's like the timeline stuff and setting. So I'm placing you within the story, and then the last sentence I've been like, you know, hooking and doing the theme and thesis kind of thing, where I'm kind of telling you what's about to happen and hooking you into it. So I have been working on that with this chapter, because a lot of them I was literally just dropping you right into the action, which is good because it like pulls you in and then you'll just want to keep reading. But sometimes it's also hard to associate where you are within the timeline and what's going on sometimes, especially when I'm adding certain characters into these chapters. But I'm also trying to make sure that I don't put too big of a paragraph in there that like weighs down the story and then you don't want to read it. That is something I've been working on, and something this chapter needs specifically, because I realize it is a big jump. It goes from October of 2022 and then jumps to October of 2023, and I was thinking it went from fall of 2022 to spring of 2023, but there's a whole season of Barrett misses, so I was like, should I put another chapter in there from that year? But I didn't want to just add one and add into the story, because it might drag on the ending a little bit too much. So that's another thing I need to add into this intro paragraph, is why there's such a big jump and why there's not a story from that chunk of time. So I have to think back about what was going on and try to sum up that in like a sentence. So I'm gonna take a break, eat some breakfast, because my stomach is grumbling. All I had was like I had a plum and some of my energy drink this morning. That's all I've had, and it's now like 10 o'clock and I got up at 6:30ish, I think 6:30. So I need to get to it and eat some breakfast because I'm starving. Another thing is, I am pretty sure I'm having a wisdom tooth pain. I haven't had mine come in or pulled or anything. I think one broke the surface on this side. I think that's what it is. But this side is what's hurting, and I think there's something trying to come in on this side. That's all I'm hoping that it is. It's not like an abscess and I needed another root canal, because that would suck. But yes, I have not had very much luck with my teeth. I literally had my last tooth pulled in college, my last baby tooth, because none of them wanted to come out. Like, my teeth are pretty straight except for a couple of spots, because they were places where the baby tooth did not want to come out, and the big tooth, grown tooth, whatever you call that, your like actual full grown tooth had come in behind the baby tooth, and it just was a big pain, and I had to get the baby tooth pulled. So I guess that's a little lore about myself, I guess. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. So what was I talking about? Yes, it's giving me pain on this side, and I already had a headache when I woke up, and I'm wondering if this is like making it worse. So hopefully that goes away. I've already taken ibuprofen twice this morning. I'm hoping it does in fact go away, because I forgot to mention I actually have a live stream today, my first ever hosted one that I'm doing with Sarita. I'm hoping this pain goes away. Like, it hurt a little bit more reading this chapter aloud, and I was like, this is not gonna be great. Live stream for like 2 hours and I'm having to talk. Hopefully that's not what it is and it goes away, but otherwise it's gonna be a pain in my butt all day. However, I need to go eat breakfast, like I said, maybe hopefully not agitate it worse, and look at some photos and try to think about what was going on in that time. I know I was hunting, I just don't think there was a story I wanted to pull from there to add in here, so I need to figure out how I'm gonna sum that up. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I will talk to you guys in a little bit.
Bad traffic ain't a waste of time. When you were there to hold my hand, but I've had it with the 405 since you said I'd missed my last chance. But I know that you've been asking about me. If I tried though to get you back, would you let me? It might take some time to change your mind, but baby, everything we can make it right. This take me back in your eyes, blinking at me like a caution light. I wonder if you see it. I don't really need a single other reason to make you mine. It might take some time to change your mind. I know. I wish I never let you go. If I took you for a top-down drive, just you and me and an empty road, maybe I can make it cross your mind. Jump back in, baby, go, go, go. Oh,
I don't know if you noticed, but I was like trying to very quickly finish the last like couple sentences as soon as the timer went off. But I just finished chapter 19. I could probably read it again, but I think it's good, so I think it's gonna be done, and I'll move on to chapter 20 on the next sprint. So yeah. Well, I do multiple passes of it, so I already did a couple passes of it today. But depending on how long a sprint is, I can usually read the chapter at least once through a sprint. Yeah. I can't see anything. My chapters are anywhere from like 2,000 to like, what's my longest chapter? I think when I ended draft 2, it was like, or 1 was like 7,000 words. I was like, no.
let you go. I know you've been asking about me. If I tried though to take it all back, would you let me? Oh, it might take some time to change your mind. Maybe everything we can make it right. Just take me back in your eyes, blinking at me like a caution light. I wonder if you see it. I don't really need a single other reason to make you mine. It might take some time to change your mind.
Okay guys, it is pretty late now, as you can obviously tell by how much darker it is in here. It's 8 o'clock. I was just so hyped up on my live stream with Sarita, because I 100% was like, I'm totally gonna finish this draft today. I just gotta finish this chapter and I am gonna be good. But no. I did get through like the first half of chapter 20, but I didn't get much further than that, and I'm still in the first pass. So there's no way I'm gonna be able to get it all done tonight unless I stayed up really late. And since I started working really early this morning on this, I don't want to do that. So I think I'm just just gonna finish the next half of this pass. So I'll have the first pass of chapter 20 done, and then tomorrow I think I'll just do the next 2 and then wrap it up from there. And then I'm gonna go back into my living room and crochet and hang out and maybe read a good book tonight, because I did a lot of writing today, a lot of good focus writing today. Like I wrote a lot this morning, got chapter 18 done, got chapter 19 done, and then started chapter 20, had a live stream. We were on that live stream for 4 hours. Yeah, we had a lot of yapping time, but we also did 3 sprints. We did 3 30-minute sprints, so that's an hour and a half writing. The last one I did have to go take the dog out and I snacked a little, but the other 2 I was completely just revising. Had a lot of fun on the stream. There's only a few people, which I kind of figured would be the norm because I am a very small YouTuber, obviously, but it was fun doing it with Sarita because it was really easy to just talk with her, and that's why we were talking so much. But yes, I had a great time on the live stream, my first ever. Also was filming for part of it and forgot, and so my camera went for a full hour of recording, and I guess it shuts off after that. I was really excited and I really thought I was going to finish this draft, but I obviously did not, so that kind of sucks. But I'm glad that I'm still making amazing progress today. I got a lot of sprinting and got a lot done, so I really can't complain. I was just riding that high and really thought I was going to finish today, and then I had a realization. I'm like, I'm not going to finish. But also I didn't realize how late it had gotten, so yeah, it got late on me pretty quick. But I was just having so much fun with the live stream, and it was 4 hours long, and then we talked an extra half hour after the fact. So yeah. Anyways, I will definitely probably doing more in the future. Probably another one-on-one with somebody else. I don't know if I'm quite there to do it by myself. I don't think I can talk enough for a solo live stream. I'd talk for like a minute and then I'd be like, okay, let's sprint. And that's not that fun either. I'm gonna stop talking and stop procrastinating and work on chapter 20, and I will check in with you guys in the morning with any other updates where I get tonight, so I don't have to update again in this dark room. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. We will see where I am at, and then we're gonna finish draft 3.
I don't wanna call you later. It's there in my heart up like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that we're both on the same page. I don't want it to complicate. I know you're riding away. Is there room for us both on the same way? Nothing breaks that clearly when there's love on the line. My best friend told me someone that I don't even like. There's nothing left to fix if you don't want me to try. Oh, why would I when you were barely even mine? Oh, why would I? I should have known from the start that you were a waste of an open bar tab. Putting my feet on the doormat. There's so much of you that I just can't leave. Yeah, nothing breaks it clearly when there's love on the line. My best friend told me someone that I don't even like. There's nothing left to fix if you don't want me to try. Oh, why would I when you were barely even mine? Oh, why would I? You're out there riding away, but is there room on?
Okay guys, guess what? Well, you probably already know from the previous clips, but I did in fact finish chapter 20, which means draft 3 is officially done. Yeah. was kind of a little worried when I kind of got up late and then made breakfast and it kind of like was sitting around just a little. And then I was like, no, I gotta walk in and get this done because I want to go grocery shopping and I want to relax this evening and watch some YouTube or some like Halloween-y movies because I did decorate for fall. As you've probably seen in previous clips, I decorated my living room with fall decorations because I could not wait any further because I am very much in a very crochet mood, and when I crochet I want it to be decorated as fall. That's a side comment. Where was I taking that? How did I lose my whole train of thought? But anyways, yes, I did in fact finish chapter 20. I locked in, finished up the read through that I was on last night that I didn't finish. Like I did 1.5 read throughs yesterday instead of just doing the one that I was expecting. I went a little farther than I expected last night when I was walking on my walking pad, and then I finished that one up, and then I actually started another pass. So I ended up with 4 full passes of this chapter because it is so much longer and there's a lot of extra information in this chapter because it's one of my most recent hunts, and so there's a lot that I personally remember, and you can tell in the writing because it's very heavy. There's a lot of extra words in there that I've been still fine-tuning and trying to cut, but I actually ended up adding more words to it, but I'll get into that when we cut over to doing the stats of draft 3 here in a second. But yes, I finished chapter 20. I did 4 passes of it, did walk on my walking pad, and I'm feeling pretty good about this draft. Actually, there is still some things I do want to go back and fix in a draft 3.5 that I like to do, like I did a draft 2.5 in a previous vlog. You can probably go back and watch it if you really want to. I did before sending it to beta readers, which just means I read through the draft completely over again and like a quick read through, found all the little stuff that I wanted to quickly fix up and just fine-tuning it so that I feel confident giving it to a beta reader or beta readers. And so I'm gonna do that next. That is my plan. That was the other thing yesterday on the live stream. Sarita was asking me what my plans were, and so my plans are to take a little bit of a break now that draft 3 is done. I'm gonna go camping next weekend for Labor Day weekend with some friends and my fiance, and we're gonna just have a good time. We'll either try to decide if I want to work on that draft 3.5 that next week, or honestly I would not be surprised if I do end up working on it this next week and just start reading it, but I'm gonna try not to. I want to at least take a week off and then come back and read it, send it off to some beta readers. My sister said she would read it for me. I usually have my mom read it. I will see if she wants to read it again because she just read draft 2, so I don't know if she will. Since I'm getting into the finer details of stuff, I might like to have her do it, but it's gonna have to be kind of like a heavier line edit pass, and so I am kind of worried that the beta readers are going to take extra long this time because there's probably additional stuff that I need them to be marking up. But my mom is also doing a master's program, so I don't know if she'll really be able to help much with that, so I might have to find some additional beta readers. But yes, I am going to figure out who I want to all send it to and then send that off to them, and then from there actually take a break from the draft and start working on my query package stuff. So work on my query letter, which I do have a couple drafts already made, still kind of like fine-tuning different things that I did and didn't like about the letters that I had already made. And then I also need to work on my synopsis, my book blurb. I feel like there's something else. Anyways, there's a bunch of stuff that I just want to work for the query side of things. Once I get draft 3 back from my beta readers, I'm going to go through that, pull all their comments, and then I'll probably read through it again and find anything else that I want to fix up, go through and do a draft 4. I probably want to do it as quick as possible. I don't want to say quick as possible, but I feel like I kind of want to get it done in like a month depending on how many comments there are. From there, I think I am going to print it off personally through either Kindle Unlimited or like Lulu, or did the different websites you can do where you can like get a physical copy of the book. So I think I'm going to do that and then do like a draft 5 where it's like me doing a line edit pass of it, fix all of that in the draft, you know, pull all those notes that add into that physical copy into my draft, set it aside, and then work on my query package, get it all ready. I do want to send that off to somebody else to review, so I'll probably send it to at least my mom. So I'll probably send that actually before I start that line edit pass of the physical copy and let somebody review that while I'm working on the line edit pass. Anyways, fine tune anything else that they find on my query package and then get it all together. Probably go through the drafts first, at least 10 pages, is it to 50 pages, something in there that they will look at sometimes. I want to review that again before I send it all off and then start querying from there. I was not expecting to get into all of that, so that's kind of a lot, but yes, that is my plans for the future. My next few videos might be a little varied. I think I'm going back to doing videos every other week unless I have enough videos to do. Otherwise, I'm going to be running out of content while I'm taking these breaks in between things. So so I wouldn't be surprised if there is going to be a week or two where I don't have a video go up because I am taking breaks in between drafts. So yes, that is currently what's going on and what's the plan. But I think we're going to cut over onto my desk and I'm going to tell you the stats for draft 3, and then from there I will sign off and go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday afternoon. Let's look at the stats. Okay guys, I don't know about this angle, but this is kind of what we're working with for the moment. I'm going to go over my draft 3 stats real quick and then we'll sign off from there, but I figured some people might want to hear these sorts of details. But yes, the draft 3 stats, these are some quick stuff that I wrote down, and then I also went through and tracked all my word counts from draft 1 through, I have 4 on there, but it just has the word count for draft 1, 2, and 3 for each chapter. But the overall statistics for draft 3 are, the time frame was from June 28th, 2025 to today, which is August 24th, 2025. So that's 57 days, and that is 8 weeks and a day. So I did spend every week but 1 week writing, and that 1 weekend I was out hunting and camping, so I did not get any writing in that weekend. That's pretty good. So it was like 7 full weeks of writing, but 8 total weeks. And then my word count for this draft was 67,043 words, and that does include my about me and acknowledgements that I have in this draft. There isn't really much in there, but there is still words that also adds to the draft. And the difference from draft 3 to 2 is draft 2's word count was 88,509 words. There's a big jump there from draft 2 to 3. I cut a total of 8 chapters from draft 2 to 3 because they were not chapters that were contributing to the plot. They weren't bear stories, so they ended up getting cut. And then I did end up actually adding a chapter that I drafted before starting draft 3. It was my draft 3 prep, which I have a playlist I can link in the corner for you guys to watch if you want to. But yes, I added 1 chapter, and that chapter was 4,336 words. I did not go back and figure out the 8 chapters that I cut. Let's just say it was a lot. Besides that, the other stats that I wrote down were the fact that the longest chapter was chapter 20, and it was 5,625 words. And then the shortest chapter was chapter 9, and it ended at 1,896 words. Kind of a big difference between those two. And then the rest were pretty close to 3,000. Some were 2,000, 4,000, 4,000, and 800. You know, there's a big variance of word counts for each chapter. The other things to note is that chapter 1 did have a lot of reconstructing in this draft. I initially had draft 1 of chapter 1 was 6,306 words. I cut it down to 2,252 words in this draft. After getting some beta reader feedback in draft 2, I decided to restructure where chapter 1 started, so I cut a lot of the beginning out and put the reader right into the action for chapter 1, and so that is why there's such a big difference there. But I do feel like chapter 1 is really strong now, and when I was working on it in the 12-hour write-a-thon that I did when I initially started draft 3, I forgot how hard it was for me to get into it, and I actually just watched that vlog back, so it's kind of interesting to see how that ended up turning out, because I read it back last week. I think I read it back and I was like, this is pretty strong, and it was my beta reader's favorite chapter. She just felt like it needed to start a little bit better, but there's elements in it that she really liked, and so yeah, I do feel pretty confident with chapter 1, but I know it could probably use some more tweaking in draft 3.5 maybe. Chapter 2 cut about 2,000 words. Chapter 3 I added words. Chapter 4 stayed about the same-ish. I cut about 400-ish words. Chapter 5 cut about 200 words. And then the next chapter 6 is the one that I added. It's almost like at a draft 2 stage, so I'm probably going to focus on this one quite a bit in this draft 3.5 just to make sure it's as clean as it needs to be to match everything else in the book. Chapter 7 cut about 600 words. Chapter 8 cut about the same amount, and then chapter 9, not even like 100-word difference between drafts. And then chapter 10 I added words from draft 1 to 2, and then cut a little bit from draft 2 to 3. Chapter 11 I added words, not a whole bunch, not even 200 words from 1 to 2, and then not even like 30 some words from draft 2 to 3. Chapter 12, that one stayed pretty consistent through all 3 drafts. Chapter 13 is about the same same thing. It didn't change. I guess it did change. From draft 1 to 2, it went from 3,924 to 3,184, but then it didn't change too much. Then it went up like 100 words from draft 2 to 3. Chapter 14, I added more words from 1 to 2 and then cut a little bit from draft 2 to 3, but not much. A lot of it's like fine-tuning words where I'm just cutting the extra fluff to make the sentences more to the point. Chapter 15, I cut words. Chapter 16, I cut just a little bit of words. 17, I added words. This was another big difference. There was some scenes in this one that also needed to be added in the beginning and then a little bit towards the end to tie this chapter in a little better because it's supposed to be like the false ending. So I definitely added more into that chapter. Chapter 18, it's only like 200 word difference. Chapter 19, same thing, about 200 word difference. And then chapter 20, it's kind of a big difference. I almost added 1,000 words. It went from 4,445 words to 5,625 words. That is the chapter by chapter word count statistics. Not that you all care to hear every single bit of that, but I figured I would track it and see where I was at with that. But this vlog is getting a little long now since I added all these extra statistics to it, but I just wanted to give a little extra information about the differences from those drafts and what is going on, and then I also let you guys know what my plan is for the future. I'm feeling pretty strong and confident about this book, but we'll see what the beta reader feedback brings in the next month or so. Actually, it'd probably be more like 2 months because I probably won't actually give it to them for another at least 3 to 4 weeks. So we will see how that actually goes, and I am just happy that I got draft 3 done this weekend. I did consider like waiting to be considered done with draft 3 until I did another pass, but it's like separate from it. I want to step away at least a week from it and then come back to it, and I don't do like a full like hard revision of the whole draft. I'm just finding the little things that I might have missed with these past few passes, and a lot of it is just little details I remembered after the fact. Like a different chapter reminded me of something that needs to be added in a previous chapter. Those are some things I will be fixing in draft 3.5, but we are currently finished with draft 3. So I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to enjoy my Sunday afternoon, and I will see you guys next weekend for the next vlog. I do post on Fridays, and feel free to leave this emoji in the comments below to let me know that you got to the end of this video. Feel free to leave any questions that you have about all those stats that I gave or this draft or my future plans if you want to in the comments below as well. I just appreciate you if you stuck it to the end of this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!